For part one of this section of our PD, we will identify how students did overall. In order to do that in Renaissance, you log in through Clever, and then we are going to navigate to the report screen. There's a couple of ways to do that. We can go directly to the reports tile, or you may go to the subject and then select record book. If your view looks different than this one, no worries, just make sure that you find that report tile. We are going to go ahead and select reports and then select STAR assessment. That will then lead us to the report landing page. As you can see, there are many different reports. Those are bookmarks that you have saved previously, and so you may find the record book in that location. If not, no worries. Underneath that first section, we see the STAR record book, and you may pin it at this time, and this is the report we will be opening. The next option is to then select which subject you want to be able to see. For today, I'm going to select math, and then I can be able to see my class. I can also come over here and be able to identify how many students performed in the different categories. It is important to note that we use state benchmark performance levels for third grade on up, and we use district benchmark performance levels for kinder, first, and second grade. So kinder, first, and second grade teachers, you will need to come over here to the toggle gear, select the gear, and then select district benchmark. The difference is that the data is sorted by percentile rank, and we know that our district benchmark performance levels are identified as different terms such as urgent intervention, intervention, on watch, and at and above benchmark. So you will actually see those performance levels terms change depending on which type you are selecting. I have a 5th grade classroom up, so I'm going to stick with my state benchmark and then hit cancel because that was the default. Here I can see the terms that this one uses for 5th grade: minimally proficient, partially proficient, proficient, and highly proficient. This matches your data template, and you will then be identifying the names of students from your class into each of those different categories. You can quickly find the students by looking down and scrolling down the screen. You can also use the options here to be able to sort your data from highest to lowest, lowest to highest, to be able to categorize and grab those names faster. Couple things to note while we are on the screen is that each student has 2 data points that are highlighted. This does show the scale score, which is based on item difficulty and correct responses. So how did that student do in responding to the items on the test? And the second number is the percentile rank. This number, such as the one seen here, 98, is showing that the student outperformed 98% of other students that took the test around the same time as them across the nation. And so that is a comparison number when looking at how this student performed compared to students across the nation. Another option that you could use here, if you were going to repeat this process and be able to do an additional subject at a later time, you can click on Screening Comparison. This allows you to enter the types of data that you want to compare. So STAR Math to STAR Reading. You could also compare STAR Early Literacy to STAR Reading, depending on what grade level you are in, and then it shows you the available data in the 2 different places down below. So using this report will be able to help you in identifying how the students performed overall. I'm going to select back to latest assessment to get me to the view of just the subject I'm working in, and then I would be able to identify how many students performed in each category, and then there are opportunities to layer in additional data depending on what your site wishes you to do in those areas. The next step after you collect this data is to then reflect on the data, identify your responses to those guiding questions provided.